Hello everyone, welcome back to Movies with Michael. Films and shows each have different pieces that need to come together to make a great final product. Unfortunately, when it comes to contemporary Christian media, at least one of these things seems to go terribly wrong. The acting is incompetent, the script is dreadful, the production value is very low in quality, the direction is lost and confused, etc., etc. So as you can imagine, I wasn't too thrilled when I heard that there was a new series about the life of Christ called The Chosen. I went in expecting for each of these different things to go wrong, but to my surprise, I was the one who was wrong. Now I will say, I don't think the show is amazing or even great. It still has some things that need to be improved upon, no question. But my point today is to discuss why the series, now 3 seasons long, is a step in the right direction for the world of faith-made films, shows, etc. The unfortunate reality is that many movies or shows based on Jesus or about Jesus tend to show only him, and every other character is reduced to the background. Now that is understandable given that Jesus is the main character of the story, of course, but that doesn't mean that every other character needs to be a blank slate or, as I said, just a background character. The show does a good job at this in showing that the disciples, it builds them as characters, and it builds other characters, minor characters, like the faithful centurion, and it shows that they are all very different people from very different backgrounds, and they need to come together and make those ends meet and work those things out with one another. And the show is about those that Christ chose to follow him. And with that in mind, of course, that's the reason why the show is called The Chosen, but Jesus, so far anyway, hasn't been the main character for a lot of the episodes we've seen. The question of adaptation always comes up when discussing any adaptation of the text to the screen. Now, I can argue for the other side on this, but when it comes to doing adaptation, doing a text to the screen, word for word, sequence for sequence, won't necessarily make a good film or show. The showrunners of The Chosen knew this, so they add in different things to build the characters in the context of what we're seeing on screen. Not perfectly, mind you, there's still some things that they don't do right, but I think that perhaps is the best, well, the most important aspect of adaptation. Changing, reworking things without adding in your own messages. But as I said, they're not perfect in this, so there were some times in the show that I thought that they were adding in something that was never intended to be there in the story going on in the text. From doing this, though, we get more moments showing that the different groups of people around that area of the Middle East at the time, and how they were always on edge. They were so angry with each other for different reasons, but how they needed someone like Jesus to help them make amends with each other and work things out. And with that, we get more of the harsher stuff, the not kid-friendly stuff, that I think a lot of Christians tend to forget was going on at the time. Now, the show isn't perfect with this. I think there were some times that they toned it down unnecessarily. Briefly, I would like to talk about the portrayal of Jesus in the show so far. The unfortunate trend that happens with either Christian-made movies, shows, or Hollywood movies, actually, is that the, quote, perfect character is very boring, uninteresting, bland. You don't really want to see them on screen. As if being perfect meant that they couldn't have any personality. But what The Chosen does is that it shows that the perfect character, Jesus, can be angry, sad, happy, distressed, playful, etc., without doing anything wrong. The perfect character can still have real emotions and seem like a real independent being with their own thoughts, without doing anything wrong. And I won't give my final thoughts on Jonathan Roumie as Jesus until we see the show close up, which won't be for some time. I hope today that I've given points on how filmmakers of faith and Hollywood filmmakers can learn from the crowd-funded series about the life of Christ, The Chosen. Perhaps the show will encourage more filmmakers to make more shows and movies about different stories from the Bible and this time. The stories that have the most influence over our Western storytelling to this day. And with that, we've made it to the end of yet another video. Thank you all so much for joining me today, and please remember to leave a like, comment down below what you think about The Chosen and how it relates to the rest of Christian media, and subscribe for more content about movies. That's all for now, and I'll see you all in the next video.